How do solar panels and batteries work together to power your home? You probably guessed it, they're not made to plug into each other. Well, in the next 3 minutes I will explain exactly how it works, and you will learn how they come together by the power of a thing called the hybrid inverter. I will save you tons of research, and I will show you practical example of how the batteries and the solar panels at home work together to make me a tasty cup of tea, and then I'll talk you through what happened and why is it such a great advantage to have one of these gadgets at home. Alright, let's go. Let's introduce the tools I'm going to be using. This is Solar Assistant, an independent app for monitoring solar equipment in real time. In the bottom right, you see the battery dial. You can see that right now the battery is charging. Just above it, you can see the production from solar panels. On the top left, you see a blue dial which shows how much the load of the home is, and at the bottom left you can see the grid. Alright, so now that we know our tool, let's go and have a look at it. Watch the solar panels and battery work together to boil the kettle. Notice how the load on the battery changes from green to red, which means we're no longer charging but we're draining. And also notice that the load from the grid remains constant. This means we're saving money and we're not buying any electricity from the grid. And that's it, job done. Now we're back to charging our battery, ready for new demand, and also enjoying our tea. Alright, we're back. So what happened? Well, the first thing that happens after we press that button on the kettle is it tries to boil the water, and for that it needs electricity. In a fraction of a second, it drains a lot of electricity from the grid connection of our home. Then the inverter senses that because it has a special device called a CT clamp that wraps around the grid input to our home. This device tells the inverter that there's demand for electricity. What happens next is, the inverter being the clever conductor that it is, it starts producing AC to match that demand. And in the first place, it looks into the solar panels. It can see that the demand for the electricity from the home is larger than what it can produce from solar panels, so then it does the clever bit and it reaches for the batteries. So in this case, we can see the batteries and the solar panels work together to match the demand of the home, and thus saving me money by keeping that electricity consumption from the grid at zero through most of the time, apart from that first fraction of a second. So here we are, I have a tasty tea and I have saved a ton of money. If you want to see exactly how much money I saved in the last 16 months, check out this video. But wait, hold on a minute, I hear you ask. How did the kettle first start using electricity from the grid and then switch to using electricity from the solar inverter? Did something shut off the grid? Well, the answer to this question is pretty simple. No, nobody shut the grid. What we have at play here is a feature of electricity production and consumption. Consumers of electricity are always going to match their demand from the nearest source of electricity. So unless the nearest power plant is closer to your home than your solar inverter, then your solar inverter is always going to take precedence in supplying your house. Thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video.